And it came to be, 2 Kings, 2 Kings, chapter 19, 405, page 405. And it came to be, when King Hezekiah heard it, that he tore his garments and covered himself with sackcloth, and went into the house of Yahweh, the temple, and sent Eliakim, who was over the household, and Shebna, the scribe, and the elders of the priests, covering themselves with sackcloth, to Yeshayahu, the prophet, the son of Amatz. Hey man, we gotta go talk to the prophet. Some bad stuff going on. What bad stuff, Bear? Watch the 2 Kings 18 video. That, or just do yourself one better. Read 2 Kings 18. And they said to him, Yeshayahu, Isaiah, thus said Hezekiah the king, this day is a day of distress and rebuke and scorn, for the children have come to birth, but there is no power to bring forth. It could be that Yahweh your Elohim does hear all the words of Rabshakeh, who his master the king of Ashur has sent to reproach the living Elohim, and shall rebuke the words which Yahweh your Elohim has heard. Therefore lift up your prayer for the remnant that is left. Hey man, things are pretty bad. It's looking like the king of Ashur has got the ear of Elohim. Maybe you could talk to him for us. And the servants of King Hezekiah came to Isaiah, and Isaiah said to them, Yeshayahu said to them, say this to your master, to the king Hezekiah. Say this to your master. Thus said Yahweh, do not be afraid of the words which you have heard, with which the servants of the king of Ashur have reviled me. See, I am putting a spirit upon him, and he shall hear a report and return to his own land, and I shall cause him to fall by the sword in his land. And Rabshakeh returned and found the king of Ashur fighting against Libnah, for he had heard that he had left Lachish. So the bad dude, the king of Ashur, turns out he did hear a rumor. He heard a report that there was bad stuff going on at home, and he turned around and went at home, rather than continuing to smite the crap out of the people of Hezekiah. And when the king heard concerning Tirhakah, the king of Cush, see, he has come out to fight against you. And again he sent messengers to Hezekiah, saying, speak to Hezekiah, king of Judah, saying, do not let your Elohim in whom you trust deceive you, saying, Jerusalem is not given into the hand of the king of Ashur. He said, so I know you believe in Yah, but don't be deceived, homie. You are now going to submit to the king of Cush, even though the king of Ashur had to go home on an errand. So Judah is being attacked from all around, okay? See, you have heard what the king of Ashur have done, what the kings of Ashur have done to all lands by putting them under the ban. Are you going to be delivered under the ban by killing everybody? The kings of Ashur are killing everybody. Is Yah really going to save you? Have the mighty ones of the nations delivered those whom my fathers have destroyed, Gozan and Haran and Retseph and the sons of Eden who were in Telassar? Where is the king of Hamath and the king of Arpad and the king of the city of Sepharvaim, Hena and Eva? And Hezekiah received the letters from the hand of the messengers and read them, and went up to the house of Yahweh, to the temple. And Hezekiah spread it before Yahweh. And Hezekiah prayed before Yahweh and said, O Yahweh, Elohim of Israel, the one who dwells between the cherubim, you are Elohim, you alone of all the reigns of the earth, you have made the heavens and the earth. Incline your ear, O Yahweh, and hear. Open your eyes, O Yahweh, and see, and hear the words of Sanherib, which he has sent to reproach the living Elohim. Truly, Yahweh, the kings of Ashur have laid waste the nations and their lands, and have put mighty ones into the fire, for they were not mighty ones, but the work of men's hands, wood and stone, and destroyed them. And now, O Yahweh, our Elohim, I pray, save us from his hand, so that all the reigns of the earth know that you are Yahweh Elohim, you alone. And so the king takes these letters, the king of Judah takes these letters from the king of Ashur, basically saying, we're going to wreck you, homie. We've killed all these other people, wrecked all these other kingdoms. What have their false gods done for them? You think Elohim, Yahweh Elohim, is going to save you? And so the king of Judah, Hezekiah, takes these letters into the tabernacle, and he spreads them out before Yah, and he prays. And he says, please deliver us from this, so that all the nations will know you're not some false god like all these other nations are worshiping, but you are the living Elohim. Then Isaiah, son of Amatz, sent to Hezekiah, saying, thus said Yahweh, Elohim of Israel, I have heard that which you prayed to me against the Sanherib, king of Ashur. So Isaiah, who's not in the temple, gets word from the Father, hey, yo, king, I heard that you were praying this stuff at the temple. That's awesome, right? There's confirmation right there. This is the word which Yahweh has spoken concerning him, the king of Ashur. The maiden, the daughter of Zion, has despised you, mocked you. The daughter of Jerusalem has shaken her head behind you. Whom have you reproached and reviled? Against whom have you raised a voice and lifted up your eyes on high? Against the set apart one of Israel, by the hand of your messengers. You have reproached Yahweh, and said, with my many chariots I have come up to the height of the mountains, to the sides of Lebanon, and I cut down its tall cedars, its choice cypress trees, and I enter its remotest parts, its thick forest. I have dug and drunk strange water with the soles of my feet. I dry up all the streams of defense. Have you not heard long ago? I made it. From days of old I formed it. Now I have brought it to be that you should make walled cities ruinous heaps. And their inhabitants were powerless. They were overthrown and put to shame, as they were the grass of the field and the green plants and the grass of the housetops withered before it came up. But I know you're sitting down, and you're going out, and you're coming in, and your rage against me. Because your rage against me and your pride have come up to my ears, I shall put my hook in your nose and my bridle in your lips, and I shall turn you back by the way which you came. And this is the sign for you. This year you eat what grows of itself, and in the second year what springs from that, and in the third year sow and reap and plant vineyards and eat their fruit. And the remnant who have escaped the house of Judah shall again take root downward and be fruitful. For out of Jerusalem comes forth a remnant, and those who escape from Mount Zion, the ardor of Yahweh does this. Therefore, thus said Yahweh concerning the king of Ashur, he does not come into this city, nor does he shoot an arrow there, nor does he come before it with shield, nor does he build a siege mount against it. By the way that he came, by the same he turns back, and he does not come into this city, declares Yahweh. So Yah's like, cool story, Mr. King Man, ain't happening. And I shall defend this city to save it for my own sake, for the sake of David my servant. And it came to be in that night that the messenger of Yahweh went out and struck in the camp of Ashur 185,000. And they rose up early in the morning and saw all of them dead bodies. 185,000 men killed overnight. The messenger of Yahweh, the angel of the Lord. And Sanherib, king of Ashur, broke camp and went away, and turned back and remained in Nineveh, you think? And it came to be, as he was bowing himself in the house of Nisroch, his mighty one, false god, that his son Adramelech and Sharetzar struck him with the sword, and they escaped the land of Ararat, and his son Esarhaddon reigned in his place. Shall we do 20? Yeah, we'll do 20. In those days Hezekiah was sick unto death, the king of Judah. And Isaiah the prophet, the son of Amoz, went to him and said to him, thus said Yahweh, command your house, for you are going to die and not live. And he turned his face toward the wall and prayed to Yahweh, saying, I pray to you, O Yahweh, remember how I have walked before you in truth and with a perfect heart, and have done what was good in your eyes. And Hezekiah wept bitterly. And it came to be, before Isaiah had gone out into the middle court, that the word of Yahweh came to him, saying, return and say to Hezekiah, the leader of my people. So Isaiah visits the king. He says, you're old and dying. You need to direct your people. You need to let them know what's up. And Hezekiah starts praying to the Father, hey, remember my good works, man. I've been good to you. You've been good to me. And as Isaiah's leaving, he hasn't even left the household yet. And the word of Yah comes to him. He says, go back and talk to the king. And it came to be, before Isaiah had gone out into the middle court, that the word of Yahweh came to him, saying, return and say to Hezekiah, the leader of my people, thus said Yahweh, the Elohim of David your father, I have heard your prayers, I have seen your tears. See, I am going to heal you. On the third day, go up to the house of Yahweh. And I shall add to your days 15 years, and deliver you and this city from the hand of the king of Ashur, and shall defend this city for my own sake, and for the sake of David my servant. And Isaiah said, take a cake of figs. And they took and laid it on the boil, and he recovered. I guess he was just a little bound up, man. Just a little bound up. Had, he was impacted. And Hezekiah said to Isaiah, what is the sign that Yahweh does heal me, and that I shall go up to the house of Yahweh the third day? And Isaiah said, this is the sign for you from Yahweh, that Yahweh does the word which he has spoken. Shall the shadow go forward 10 degrees or go backwards 10 degrees? And Hezekiah said, it would be easy for the shadow to go down 10 degrees. No, but let the shadow go backwards 10 degrees. And Isaiah the prophet cried out to Yahweh, and he brought the shadow 10 degrees backwards, by which it had gone down by the sundial of Ahaz. Altered the position of the sun. It's interesting because it's almost as if in Genesis chapter 1, it says the sun and the moon and the stars shall be for signs and appointed times. And there it is. And Isaiah the prophet cried out to Yahweh, and he brought the shadow 10 degrees backwards, by which it had gone down on the sundial of Ahaz. At that time, Berodach-Baladan, son of Baladan, king of Babel, sent letters and a present to Hezekiah, for he heard that Hezekiah had been sick. And Hezekiah listened to them, and showed them all his treasure house, the silver and the gold and the spices and the precious ointment, and all his armory, and all that were found among his treasures. There was not an object in his house or in all his rule that Hezekiah did not show them. Why? Pride, arrogance, supplication, appeasement. And Isaiah the prophet came to King Hezekiah and said to him, what did these men say, and from where did they come to you? And Hezekiah said, they came from a distant land, from Babel. And Isaiah said, and what have they seen in your house? And Hezekiah answered, they saw all that is in my house. There is not an object among my treasures that I did not show them. And Isaiah said to Hezekiah, hear the word of Yahuwah. See, the days are coming when all that is in your house and what your fathers have treasured up until this day shall be brought to battle. No object shall be brought to Babel. No object is to be left. You showed them everything you had. It was like you showed somebody how much money was in your bank account, and then you gave them the login information. Yeah, here's the word of Yah. They're going to rob you, homie. You made it really easy for them to rob you. You showed them everything that you had. That was dumb. And they are going to take away some of your sons who are born to you, whom you bring forth, and they shall be eunuchs in the palace of the king of Babel. Eunuchs is bad news, man. The whole point of Israel is to preserve the father's chosen seed, the seed of Abraham. And so having your junk cut off to serve in a foreign land doesn't really perpetuate that, does it? And Hezekiah said to Isaiah, the word of Yahweh which you have spoken is good. Like I believe you. And he said, is it not so, if peace and truth are to be in my days? And the rest of the acts of Hezekiah and all his might, and how he made a pool and a channel and brought water into the city, are they not written in the book of the annals of the kings of Judah? So Hezekiah slept with his fathers, and Manasseh his son reigned in his place. And that shall do it for 2 Kings 19 and 20 today. Shabbat Shalom, y'all.